Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Dedicated to the Craft, a podcast brought to you by Ballast Brewing Company. I'm Jeff Lozano, your host, and today's a fun one. Today we are going to go down south again with a good friend of ours from a craft brewery down in Mexico, but before that, a little good brew housekeeping. Fall beer dinner is happening. I can't be more excited because it's probably my favorite thing to do. I love hosting these beer dinners. I love attending beer dinners. I think it's a pretty cool way to interact with the company, with the brand, with the beer that you love. We bring our chefs out to cook up a beautiful dish, fall inspired, and then repick a complimentary beer. Now, I could tell you that the beers on this list are really, really cool. They're really unique. They're out there, and they're not flagships. So go ahead, go on to Ballast Point's website and make a reservation there. Things are going to look a little bit different this time around because of COVID. It should still be a great grand old time. Your parties must all make the reservation at the same time. The layout's going to be COVID friendly, I guess you could say. So feel free to jump on, check out the menu, and make your reservations. I hope this one goes quick. All right, today's episode was a fun one. We brought our friend Joaquín from Fortuna Cerveceria down in Guadalajara, Mexico. I just love this guy. He has a wicked rad story about what got him into beer in the first place. He talks all about in this episode about how he went from chemicals and chemical management or selling chemicals to opening up what has now become highly regarded as one of the best craft breweries in Mexico. In fact, in 2019, it was voted the best brewery in Mexico. And so we popped open a couple of his beers to chat and talk shop with them. Really interesting conversation. And he's part of a pretty big family down there too. So he talks a little bit about that. I hope you guys enjoy it. And give us a follow. Go onto our website. Make a reservation for that fall beer dinner. I'll be hosting. It's going to be fun. Thanks. Hey, Manimal, welcome to the show. Joaquín.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Orendain, it's a pleasure to have you. Lord Chandler, like always. What's up, dude?
How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing good. Greetings from California, from the United States.
So, hi from Guadalajara. We're about 20 minutes from Tequila, so we're very close to get very borrachos, you know?
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Let's kick it off, man. I'm going to crack one open right now. I am going to crack open this Fortuna California Ale that you can give us the 411 on right now. But, yeah. Ooh. Good pop. Brother, let's pour this one out for our brother down south. Ooh, nice, dude. This is already smelling. So, I mean, I wish everybody watching could smell it through the webcam. Look at that. I'm looking at a little too much head, but I'll let it happen. Joaquín, hey man, listen. We've known each other for quite a bit of time now. We've done a few cool collaborations. I remember around this time a few years ago. I think it was a few years ago. We did a Dia de los Muertos collaboration.
Yeah, we did a Day of the Dead collaboration for Dia de los Muertos, correct?
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, it was great. You brought over or smuggled over a bunch of sugar candy skulls right from the mothership.
Yeah.
And you had them personalized. I think he's gonna go bring one right now so everybody can see. Those of you just listening, I think he's going to bring a sugar skull and show us what's. Oh, that's dope. A sugar skull with Fortuna on it.
I always saw the New Orleans tradition where they put the baby in the cake. You know, from Mardi Gras.
It's called La Rosca in Mexico. Very dangerous.
Can you actually bake a cake big enough to hide the skull in it so the person with the that piece?
Yeah.
Like dude, good luck or something.
Well, I guess you have to in the rosca when you split the king's cake or whatever. Whoever finds the baby has to throw the party.
Yes. Well, we should do that something for December, you know.
What we should do? We should get a rosca, and then we'll cut it whenever, and then the person to get the baby has to host the collaboration.
Oh,
right. I mean,
All right. Well, look, dude. There's a lot of ground to cover on this one because you have a very interesting story. Your last name is Orendain, and a lot of people know that last name, and a lot of people know that it's associated with alcohol, but not the way not the way the rest of your family does it, right? You took a different path and you went into beer making when the majority of your family is infamous for tequila, right?
Correct. Yeah, I come from a distillery family, 130 years distillery. It was probably one of the. It was Cuervo, Sausa, and Orendain. So I have been around beer for all my life, but I haven't been into beer because, as you know, Mexico is still polarized or monopolized by two big companies, and we should judge the. It's like you guys 20 years ago. We should judge the beer as three kind: clara, oscura, lights, and micheladas. Like there is no culture about beer at all. There's only culture about tacos, mariachi, and tequila. You judge as beer. We produce a lot of beer. We drink a lot of beer, but it's domestic, mostly Coronas and part of Tecate. Both go, it's not they're not craft and they don't get the culture of people to get to know about the beer. What is it? And I was actually doing chemical supplies in 2011, and I was in San Diego doing training for a half Ironman at Oceanside. And by luck, I went to a place, to a bike shop because I was getting a bike. It was side to side to Hamilton's Tavern in South Park. And this guy, my friend, he was like, "Hey, go there and grab beer." I was like, okay, I'm not a beer drinker, but I'll go there and see what up. And when I came in, it was really cool because this was different. 2 p.m. and it was all dark. Hamilton, how is it? But besides everything, I was like shocked because I saw so many kind of beers. But at that time, I could only judge the beer by the label, and that's it, or by
Right.
the color, or if it's dark, it's too hard for the mouthfeel, or give me something light. That was me. So Angel Miron, the bartender, poured me at that time as a welcome, Pliny the Elder. So I actually.
Ooh, you got spoiled fast.
Yeah.
Oh, what nice, dude.
So for me, it was like learning to drive on a Ferrari. He was. Well, he poured me that beer, and when I drank it, I give the first sip.
Yeah. Let's follow your
I
lead.
remember I thought it was a joke, like, to this beer. It was something new in my mouth. Like I didn't know about the bitterness. Now I know what something that is bitterness, but I didn't know that at that time about it. I
Right.
judge like the beer flavor and the dark flavor. So it was a gift. I had to drink it really hard. And then when I came in, I talked about I had my first beer craft. It was a Blue Moon. So then he gave me an Alagash, a White Rascal, no, a White Rascal, and it was something more friendly for my mouth. But that kept me on my mind like something new. 1 hour later, my friend came and he poured two Green Flash IPAs, and I drank it again. I was like, oh, again, your bitter beers. Give me something light or something easy to drink. I came back to Guadalajara and on my old job. It was chemicals, and I kept thinking about going to another level to get into something funner to do. And I went with my older brothers and my family to talk about beer. Like, this is new age of beer, and we've been drinking a lot for ages. Beer. I remember when I was a kid. I was a child. I could go sneak a little bit beer and drink it.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
I'm also surrounded by booze, by tequila.
Right.
But it was like the new era. The new breweries were starting here in Guadalajara, but there was not that culture about beer. And I mean about culture is very. I wanna raise my hand about Ballast Point because it was an easy way for new drinkers to show about beer. Like if you're a baby, they will show you about the colors, like from bottom to top, in a fun way. That was my show up. Show up because I would go. I remember going at Little Italy and seeing everything, and people going back to me and telling me about this beer. This will you gonna like this new beer. At that time, this was Seva. Seva. I remember your
Yeah.
work.
Seva, Paul Elder's son.
Shout out to Seva.
I remember him like coming to me and, hey, you're this guy's friend. Yeah, I'm here again to try new beers. And well, it was the times of the homebrew mart as well, when you can go there and see and smell also what was brewing. For me, that was like experience. And then I remember bringing my brothers and my relatives there. Like it was easy to bring them to Little Italy because it was more fancy than to bring them to our side, our
Right.
We love to smell like the grain out and the people brewing and hard rock behind. I couldn't do that with my family or my founders. I wanted to tell them, hey, we can do something about it in Guadalajara back there. So that was like you were my carta de presentación, my profile. Like we can do something like that over there. I was trying to tell them baby step about beers. Like I remember when you launched the Fathom, the India Pale Lager. It was like it's like a lager, like a Corona, but with hops. Like on our language.
You had a revelation. You literally a beer changed your life, literally. And like us as beer drinkers or guys that are really craft centric, when we bring in a friend or a family into a craft beer bar, we think that especially if they're not into craft beer, they don't know what it's about. You go, oh, it's let's open up their world because it's such a beautiful world, right? And that doesn't happen all the time. It really doesn't. You had that. What became your life's work started at a craft beer bar in San Diego. That's amazing.
Yes. Well, it's like a destiny.
Well, you had some good coaches as well. I mean, Juan Moran at Hamilton's, all the way through Ballast Point to Cerveza, the son of our artist Paul Elder. I mean, that's a pretty good way to stumble through craft beer in San Diego, I think.
Yeah, I remember coming to Homebrew Mart to buy my first yeast packs from White Labs and meeting George and meeting everybody. And from there, I got the idea and the concept. Easy to bring it back to Guadalajara and to my partners right now. There are my brothers and Juan Jose Morales. He's not my brother, but he's like my wife because I see him every day. My partner. We are 4 partners, and from those 4, we operate 2. Juanjo is the CEO, and I'm in the production side. So it has to happen for something. But I remember like bringing all of them to San Diego and tasting different beers, different hops, and working something little by little. And suddenly I realized that there was a program at UCSD. And 8 months later, I applied. I sent an email, and 8 months later, they called me like, "Hey, you're in, but do you have a degree?" So I didn't have a degree about science, but I was working with chemicals. So and also in your college, you know about biology and everything. So I sent that to UCSD, the brewing program. They let me in I got in at 2014 September, and suddenly I saw that all the teachers were the rock stars. Like were the people behind the breweries. Not only Ballast Point, it was Paul Segura from Carl's
Culture.
House, Arlen from Stone, Justinian from Stone, Aaron Justus from Ballast Point, Joseph Cherney, also from Ballast Point. So
That's rock stars, man.
yeah, so
Dude,
that's
well,
why I'm telling you, it was fortune. It was lucky.
and you keep using these words that I really resonate with because they're the same words that I think of about, like, when I think about my career. It was a destiny. It was kind of like this. It wasn't just, hey, this is kind of cool, let's go. There was a little bit more of a calling there. Here's my question. I don't think I've ever asked you this, and we've talked about many times. Your family is comes from a long line of tequila makers. Was there any kind of, did anybody go like, hey, why don't you get into tequila? Why are you going to be wasting your time with this beer thing? Like, was there any opposition? Did anybody in the family not want you to go into craft beer when you guys are already in tequila?
Well, the first thing and very important is like my second last name is Orendain, so it's my mom's side. I'm the third generation for Orendain, and that time mostly you can work on your dad's or by your own. But it was like my heritage. I'm hanging around Tequila Town and at the distillery, but on that time, and I was not invited. Like, hey, come and get along at here. So it was either build your history or work with your heritage or with your dad. And
Yeah.
I didn't go any of both. So I didn't go my family business, mainly candies and fruits, apples distribution and candies, all Mexican candies distribution. And luckily we went through something I can tell harder to make than making tequila. I can tell the brewing beer is harder to make tequila. You don't have activity during all that time, and during you drink it. You know, you kind of in a bottle and get gushing. It's hard to travel long distances, and if you tequila, you can just hold it for long, and you don't have any loss as long as it's a good tequila. Does it make sense what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. Is that what got you? Is that what attracted you a lot into beer? Just knowing and understanding from your chemical background, and just kind of a natural fascination with physiology and biology and all that stuff. Was that really what drove you towards beer?
No, I think it was a chance, the opportunity, and also the experience, and to from four elements make tons of changes, and when you have all those tons of changes, make some symphony. That's what I like it, and then you can play with candy schools. You can play with chiles, habaneros. You can play with whatever.
Sake ales, like, what the hell are you doing, dude? This is rad.
Beer, I can tell because we fermented that with sake yeast, also from White Labs, the 07.
Nice.
Chris White was also my teacher at UCZ, the program, and I remember they launched that sake, but I didn't have the knowledge about how difficult on those days was to bring sake to a brewery, and we didn't use it as kogi, but we only use the sake yeast. I can tell it's a hybrid because it ferments longer than a lager, like 17 days plus 15 to 20 as maduration. So it's very complex.
Yeah, it sounds so. It sounds like it. And you guys,
when you pour it, how was it? Good?
oh, I haven't even opened it yet, dude. Look, I'm spoiled right now, man. Me and Kobe we're Fortuna Nation right here, dude.
I know.
I
We
feel like
got
we're
too
at
many
your,
things to drink.
Oh,
I,
yeah, right?
Can you just touch on California Ale a little bit? What we
Yeah,
started
because there's
with?
a lot of inspiration behind that one, dude. Now I understand the name a lot more.
Yeah, it's very important because it was our first recipe, the California Ale. The dream came in California. Also, we use only West Coast hops, Centennial and Mosaic on this one. Cali yeast and wild labs as well. And also in Guadalajara or in Mexico, people judge the beer as if you can tell that it's a clara or a blonde, they will understand like if it's a blonde, it's a güera, like a
Right.
blonde girl, and it will be it's a güera. Are you drinking a girl? And if I go to clara to clear, I will judge as a pilsner again. So California, it's something cool like the song, all the peninsula, the state that was stolen from us.
Yeah, dude. I love your thought process. I love your mind. Ever since I met you, you talk about beer so poetically and so in such a way that it gets me excited. It really does get me excited about beer, and I'm always excited about beer. So,
I learned from the best, guys. I was inspired while I was at your places when I go with you and talk, brew, or ride our wine wheel. I always get inspired.
that's right. Those one wheel sessions with Lord Chandler over there.
Yeah,
Those are fun sessions.
totally. We have to do more of those.
We have to. Don't threaten me.
Look, dude, Guadalajara is one of my favorite slabs of land on earth. My dad used to take me to Guadalajara when I was a kid. The Tequila Trail is just really, it's what really got me into thinking about being a brewer. Not because tequila and the beer, but it was just because I saw what alcohol could do in the most positive sense to a bus of strangers rolling through tequila to go to different tequilerias, and it really made an impact on me. So when I found out that you existed, and then I found out that not only are you making craft beer in Guadalajara, by the way, the only craft beer, last I heard you were the only craft brewery on the Tequila Trail. Is that still true?
We're still the only one.
Yeah.
So for everybody, there's a place, a town called Tequila, Jalisco, where mostly the tequila come from. You can make it from highlands, there is Arandas, Atotonilco, and we call it Los Altos.
Mhm.
But truly the tequila come from the lowlands or tequila land. There is Tequila, Amatitan, Arenal, and also the heritage. It was three first families, and to most of them still they just wanna rise their name and soul to a big company. Our my family's tequila brand is still owned by family, 100%.
Nice.
Now they are operated by the third generation, my cousins, my direct line cousins, and I think they're taking the way to drink tequila in a new way, in a good way. It's
Nice.
not about shots. It's not about getting hammered.
I don't know. I think
Sometimes you're in a bachelor's party, you can.
just for everybody that's not watching this, I'm holding up a bottle of the tequila that he's talking about, and so is he. This is look, dude, this is dangerous. We have connected. This is the trifecta of fun. In fact, I'm going to pour myself a little out. And while I do that, I just want to let you know. I just want to tell you, man, that.
Can you write that? I'm gonna send this picture to.
Okay, go ahead, brother. Go, hold it up. Hold it up.
I'm sending this
There
to
you
you.
go. Sorry for the little pause. Like, listen, man. This is about Fortuna and this is about beer, but I also want to let you know that I love tequila, man. I love sipping on this stuff, and I'm not a big fan of blanco. Like I like more the golden and añejo and stuff. When you brought over Oitas and you shared a little bit with us, I fell in love with it immediately. This is a beautifully crafted tequila, man. This is delicious. In fact, we look for it every time that we're in Mexicali. Like when I go down to visit my family again, this is what I ask my old man to go pick up because I fell in love with it. So thank you for that. You definitely changed the world.
It was like my side dish about tequila. like the craft. I can tell like my mouth feel or my mouth was used to know about beer as you know about tequila. Like I was a domestic drinker, as you were like the tourist tequila like Cuervo, Espacial,
Right.
or as I said like Caguabo, where you go and just drink for tequila to get the effect, to get the color.
Yeah.
When you get into a time to know what you're sipping and realize that you're having a good experience, and it's about all experience
I
because
love that.
you can brew the best beer or distill the best tequila or craft the best whatever, but sooner or later you can get like lazy or depressed about I'm doing the same and the same. That's why you have to do something else, like experience, gain something else, like smell, get the open mind to know something else, talk about a new way to brew beer, to distill, or to have fun.
Dude, I love it.
What's your favorite cocktail with this?
With tequila,
Yeah, well, with this tequila.
I will drink it only ice, tequila, and soda water, like sparkling water. That's it, because
Good
you're not
man.
getting that warm thing on your mouth all the time, and you're sipping. So you have the flavor of the tequila all around in a neutral flavor, like that is sparkling water.
No grapefruit? I thought you said grapefruit at one point.
What?
Didn't you say grapefruit? I thought you liked grapefruit in it.
Oh, that well, my first one is with just the sparkling water.
Just
My
the sparkling
second
water.
one is something that we call cazuelas or cantaritos.
Cantaritos, man. Yeah.
It's ice. They squeeze a lemon, a lime. Yeah,
Oh, there it is. Kobe's making himself one in real time. Look at this
like a paloma.
cocktail
Chico.
master.
Sí. And what is the tequila?
Yeah. Well, come on, get to the good stuff, dude. There you go. There you go. And all right.
We still have room for another shot. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Hey, dude. Oh my goodness, that was savage. I'm not gonna do
It
that.
was
I'm not gonna do
just
that.
it was just a sip. I was just a taste. It wasn't a
I'm
shot.
not gonna do that. In fact, I'm going to. There you go. For anybody that. I implore everybody that's not watching this to go back and watch it on our YouTube channel because these guys are beating their livers down. Hey, well, you know what? I'm going to join you with this. I want you to tell me because, look, I love what you said, Joaquin, about the experience. I think along the same lines. I know both of us, I mean, a lot of us here think the same lines. It's an experience is really what matters. But the beer's world class. You're not cutting any corners over there at Fortuna. In fact, you guys are crushing the game. You guys were awarded 2019's best brewery in Mexico. You guys are collecting hardware. This is the bronze medal for Cerveza Mexico. Well, tell me a little bit about this IPA, and then tell me a little bit about basically all the medals that you guys are receiving and what that means to you.
So we're behind experience, as you said. And when you brew a good beer, you'll have a good flavors and good experience. If you brew a bad beer, probably that beer is going to be twice as expensive as the regular ones, and also you'll have enough flavor. Enough flavors is not only going to make you win medals or not win medals. The off flavor would make you not get beers. It's not going to make you a drinkable beer. So we want to achieve the impossible, that is perfect. There is no perfect beer in the world, but we want to make the cleanest beer possible. And when we win a medal, we want to achieve that same consistency in the next award. So it's not about winning a gold or a bronze or whatever. It's winning the next year and the next year, or brewing the consistent beer. We brew beer with three words: passion, knowledge, or respect. Pasión
Pasión.
y respeto. Pasión, noción y respeto. Passion about what you're doing and the way you do it. And knowledge or noción is because you know what you're brewing. You can poison a person if you brew a bad beer or you put some, like CIP stuff. You can kill somebody. It's about you need to know what you're doing.
Right.
And also, not only in the beer, it's also in the waste of energy or the waste of whatever. We get all the materials from the world, so we need to be also conscientes of what we do. Okay,
Conscientious.
and respect is about everything. We respect the industry, is most of all, and the style, because we are not brewing behind a fancy or a trend. We are brewing behind a style. And when you get the medal, it's because you are getting closer what it is. Something that and you have done that for 25, 27 years, you guys?
There is a difference, right? You are creating world-class craft beer in a new world, essentially. Mexico is evolving exponentially, and I think that there's so many good beers coming out of south of the border than ever before. However, what has been your experience with big beer in Mexico, and how have they responded to your small little craft brewery kind of changing the game and changing people's palates for the better?
So we have two kind of customers. The people from near the borders, all the Baja, Norte, Mexicali, they know what to expect in a beer. For me, it's very tough to win a medal over there because you're competing with easy material and easy way to travel. But also, when you go to the main events, where it's Cerveza Mexico, or my side I'm in the mainland, closer to center. Sorry.
It happens.
Yeah. And it's about culturizing, but baby steps, small by small. Like talking about Hipólita.
Your IPA?
I wanted to brew the baby step IPA for new drinkers. It's not going to be a session IPA. It's in an IPA with high aroma and the lowest bitterness, 60 IBUs. But also like tell people that we're a solid beer, a solid brewery, and try to show them and give them an experience.
This is delicious, man. This is delicious, and it travels well. Like I said, this traveled all the way from your brewery in Guadalajara, and I found it in Tijuana this morning when I went to go pick up your beers, and it travels well. Another thing that I love about what you guys are doing down there is that you're making world-class beer. You're putting a lot of dedication, passion, and you guys are obviously spreading knowledge, but you're doing it from the beginning. You have a world-class system. And I know people listening are not going to be able to see this, but could you show just everybody watching what your brewery looks like just really quick so that they get an idea of what you've invested in?
Well,
look at that. For anybody not listening, this is a beautiful all stainless cellar
system, 20-barrel system, 4 vessels.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and it looks so state of the art, man.
Organized, laid out.
All right, cool, dude. Yeah, I just wanted everybody to see your brewery because most people think about small breweries, even in the United States, as these little operations, let alone nobody has an understanding of what kind of ground you guys are breaking in Mexico. So I really wanted people to see that you're doing it for real. You're making world-class beer off a world-class system, and you're doing it right. And I just really wanted everybody to kind of get a mental image of what's going on over there, because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of investment.
Thanks. Well, it's we're behind a dream and also a solid business. Like we want to make something big on people, and you can stay. We were able to get the investment, and also the most important is that we've been in the market since 2014 as a brand, but since we start bottling, that it was in 2017 to now, we only been about 3 years, and we are a clean and
Look at
solid
that.
brewery.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
foam head right there. I love seeing that, dude. Colby just giving himself a beer mustache. You
Patience.
did you know going into craft beer, Joaquin, that it obviously you made the investment as though you were going to get to this level, but at any point were you worried that it wasn't going to work?
I'm always worried.
I was gonna say every point.
Yeah, I'm in the production side, and I'm trying to get more worried about what I can handle, and not that I can't. But when I hear you guys, when I hear the people, the customers, and talking good about Fortuna, that brings me that happiness and that calm on my head. Talking about what is going on. We are right now in a tough situation about the whole planet, about the COVID and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in a lucky side because we are not a hotel. We are not in that business that is more harder. I didn't want it to be on those shoes,
Yeah.
but now we need to know. We need to change a little bit how to brew or what to do. We all know about the freshness about beer. You have to drink it very fresh. Here in Guadalajara, they let us go on business, and then they stop us a little bit. But we want to send the people the experience to their houses like that. So it is a new way to, I think, to work.
Yeah.
Am I getting there, or did
Yeah,
I?
no, for sure, for sure. I mean, when I
Well,
went, yeah, go ahead, Colby.
well, there's a famous saying in the wine industry: it takes a lot of beer to make wine, and I can't see it being any different in Guadalajara. As takes a lot of beer to make tequila, right? So
Yeah, no, that so
location, location.
one of the interesting things, Joaquin, is when I went to TJ to pick up your beer, I went to a huge market chain. It's called Calimax. It's equivalent to in Southern California to a Vaughn's, a Ralph's, or whatever, a big market chain. And the craft beer section was huge. It was huge. It was a lot bigger than what I would have imagined. Let's say that. I'll be conservative. It was surprising that not only was every single one of your varieties there, but they had so many different beers from all across Mexico, from Mexicali, TJ, Ensenada, Rosarito, all the way down to Guadalajara and all these other spots. And it's a big kind of it's a big deal, right? Because the spotlight, the fact that those guys think that craft beer is a value enough to have a big display, it means that the market is changing, the consumer's changing. Look at that. Boom.
So there's always a bunch of I talk to a lot of people that talk about, especially down south, even South America. They always say we're this far behind you guys. What do you think your estimate is, in central Mexico? Like, where do you think you are now compared to, us in San Diego or even the United States? And the point I'd like to make is, before you answer, sorry, is that the amount of information, like you telling your story makes me feel so jealous because I had books and I had to go to the breweries and talk to the brewers, and I really didn't have a place, to go right off the bat. I mean, there was two places in town, but to have that bartender, set you up and give you that stuff, I grew up with beer, fortunately, so I had seen a lot, talk about destiny. But going back to that original question, where do you consider? Because you look at your brewery and you're like, well, you're right with us, but really, it's not like that down there,
Yeah,
correct?
for over here we have less people who drinks craft beer. But what I love and what I'm happy at is that when I go to a place and try to share my experience or what I feel about beer, I'm honest, and I have seen that when I'm selling beer because sometimes if I'm not in the brew side, I'm trying to be the best ambassador over there. Sometimes people come to me and they ask me, which one is your favorite beer about yours? And I'm like, to be honest, it's hard to enjoy my own beer because you are always judging it. Or if you are in a restaurant or on an account, you're always behind. See people if they are putting well the beer, if the beer is selling well, how old is it, or the manager for the place will come to you and ask you something, and you have to put. If you don't have a good day, you still have to put a happy face and try to share that. And when I'm able to do that, and when I do that, and when I see that happy face in the other people, and I see people drinking or brushing Fortuna, or not only Fortuna, the other craft beers, it's like we're getting to something that I saw 7 years ago. So, and that makes me happy. We're there. We are not the brewing or the craft industry is not that popular here. We still have cheap beer or laws that are against us, like monopoly or
Right.
all those kind of laws. And we still have a lot of booze, tequila and cheap tequilas and aguardientes and whatever. So
Right.
everybody has need to choose their weapons,
Well, what
and
you're selling is passion too, though. That's the secret ingredient. Your
that's
secret
yeah,
ingredient right now
totally.
is that you have a way of talking about beer and you have a way of looking and thinking about craft beer that most people don't, and it's contagious. Like
That
I get it with
yes,
you.
100%. That's what it's
That's
kind of where I was going with that question is like, who are you going to inspire and how long is it going to take to have a region of brewers because of what you're doing now?
Yeah.
well from 2014 to now. The breweries over here are getting better. Like you can find very good beers from back in the days. You can see the great beers that still on, like Insurgentes, Aguamala, Wenland, Fauna, and they still there and they're improving. But also you can see very, very good beer in the middle or in the south, like Morenos. Here in Guadalajara, you still have very good beers, Loba, Minerva. Then you go to
Right.
Monterrey, you have Principia, and the few ones, I think the small cells or the small breweries in each side, they're trying to share what we all want experience or new kind of beers, new flavors. Don't stay with the regular ones.
Do you have a brewers guild or do you have a meetup with brewers to share information? Because I think that you mentioned it a little bit earlier. If you have you don't buy bad beer twice. So if you get everybody making good beer in the region, then it kind of it lifts everybody. To use
There-
the high tide floats all boats
Right. Right. That
kind
one.
of analogy.
There's
Um,
a brewer's guild that is all about independent beers, independent breweries. It's called Acernex. But I still feel them like everyone is at their own trinchera, like at their own, say, castle. They want to be cool guys. They want to share, but sometimes they don't want to.
Right.
There's also a lot of breweries in Mexico that are already being sold by they are not independent anymore.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Everybody, it's also we all want to make business, but if you go and try their beers, there's something different. They're clean sometimes, but there's something different. So that's also another hard step to get.
Can I tell a quick story?
Yeah.
When I became the president of the San Diego Brewers Guild, there was no Brewers Guild festival. And I always thought it was kind of a shame that, it wasn't highlighted. So in order to do that, I kind of helped push that through. I did the festival within 5 months of becoming the president. But the thing I really didn't realize was how bonding it was for everybody in the community. For us all to come together and actually do a festival, do something that we were all equally a part of, I think really changed everybody's attitudes and really kind of brought people kind of into that if we help each other, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would suggest something like that, Think about
the events like the
beer festival right in the valley, like right on the trail,
Masks and everything, dude.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, it is that. It is really that. This feast or famine mentality that a lot of people have in this industry it's just doesn't, the math, it doesn't add up. You realize really quick in craft beer that you need each other. You really do need that free flowing, uninterrupted kind of access to information. When you learn something, you should teach it to me, because whether I use it and I get better than you have two options at that point. And if it's your life's vocation, then it's okay. You have two options. You either rise to it or you exceed it. And then after a while, that sort of mentality of we either have to meet that or we have to exceed it, it's going to be better for not only you, not only for your neighbor that's making beer, but ultimately for the consumer.
Totally.
Also, the competition is detrimental to long-term, you know what I mean? It's very short-term thinking. It's kind of, get ahead as quickly as you can because you're the first. So, for any area that's kind of starting and it's getting kind of a foothold on craft beer, I think it's detrimental to not be a group, to not, make sure that everybody that goes to any place to have beer in Guadalajara is having the best beer possible. You know what I mean? Share yeast, share knowledge, share hops, share access to malt, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. It really goes so far, the hardest thing is to try to keep that attitude, I think, because it goes through cycles, you go big and then back small and big and back small. So I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything.
You know that. So how is the beer industry over there right now with too many beers, too many everything, too many hazes, too many hard
beers, Joaquín? How dare you? There's never too many beers, sir.
You can't ask a question and answer it all at the same time.
Look, dude, we're in the same problem. I guess. Look, same frequency, different particular problems than everybody going through COVID. Man, this is a crazy time. This is a crazy time for you. You're breaking ground in this shit hit. We're over here, and it's a different problem. But the state of craft beer is, I think it's never been better in the sense that more people are really voting for their dollar. This is my personal way of looking at it. When somebody is forced to buy or vote with their dollar for something, a commodity, because that's all we really are. We're just a commodity. And so when somebody is forced to really look at their dollar and say, hey, where is this going to go today? Because I don't know if it's going to be here tomorrow. Then they start making wiser choices. And the fact that we're still selling beer as a brand, as a company, in this time means that that at least people are looking at us as something that's vital for their life, and that goes beyond what cool style you have, that goes beyond what medal you just won. It really does go beyond what the beer itself is. It's that coupled with who are these people and can I vote for them. And COVID has really shown me as a consumer myself and other people that when you go to your local liquor store or your market and you look at this broad range of options, you start thinking about other things, things other than what flagship they have or how many times they hop the beer. You start thinking about who's behind that beer, man. Oh, you know what? Who works for these guys? Oh, my buddy told me that they don't really handle things too well. I don't want to go there. I don't have the money to spare, but I do want beer, so I'm going to vote over here. Kind of like that. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. Yes. You need to not only be there but share the passion, try to share the experience and let people know what's behind a beer, what's behind a new project, label. I get it.
Where you spend your money is one of the few controls you have these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, not even these days, just any days. So I'm a big fan of going and sitting outside of breweries nowadays and having a few beers here and there and tasting all the good medal winning beers that we had in San Diego County. And
we clean up out.
You know what I mean?
So we're doing as good as we can be, Joaquin, but here's the real thing. We're running out of time, and I could drink with you all week, dude. But I want you to talk a little bit about Fortuna, its name, and what it means to you.
So Fortuna, and the Ferris wheel. In Mexico, we call La Rueda La Fortuna, or the round of fortune to the Ferris wheel. And if you go to the romantic side, is whatever you like. Fortune is everything. Is success, luck, money, love, friendship. And I want to share about the ride. I want to talk about the ride. The Ferris wheel, La Rueda de la Fortuna. And you're running and you're dando la vuelta, spinning. And when you're in the low side or in the high side, if you admire or if you like the top, you have to be at the bottom. If not, you're not gonna be able to get that.
Yes.
Also, it's an invitation to come and ride with us, enjoy the beer. Sometimes it's gonna be in the lowest possible, then in the toppest. We're gonna be doing this, and
I love that, dude.
it's about Fortuna. Also, the label or everything at first will remind you a happy day, as well as a good beer.
Dude, that's it. That's it. That's what I wanted to hear from you, man. I've heard you talk about it before, and every time I hear you talk about your name, it almost it probably gets me more excited than when you start talking about the beer, because it's a philosophy, and the way that you look at life, you've directly translated that and you've infused your product with it. And people talk about happy brewers make happy beer. People don't get that until they hear stuff like that, and you go, oh, that's what he means. That means I'm drinking somebody's passion in here. I'm drinking somebody's philosophy all mixed in together. And I think that's beautiful, man. I think it's poetic. I love it. I love your view, your outlook.
Did you ever do a homebrew, or did you go right into professional brewing?
I did a homebrews. My first kit, I bought it. It was like a homebrew kit, and it didn't go well. Then we were talking about bringing a brand, there was a place where they will share you, they will teach you how to brew.
Right.
It was like a barbecue class. This
Right.
is the meat, this is the yeast, this is the grains, this is the water. You need to change and exchange, and 25 days later, you have a beer. But until I get into my own brewing, that it was during my classes in at UCSD, I bought a 20 liters brew system, Bilchman, and it was like the spikes. But we studied in a brew magic here in Fortuna.
Mm.
We never, our first brewers were from a homebrew system that it was the brew magic. We made a brand during 2 years and a half from that. We built it eight account. We were able to try a lot of material, a lot of raw materials, local malts, European malts, American malts, hops. And the most important is was that we start brewing solid beers, clean beers, but building a brand without a hurry. And we scale up from a half barrel system to a 20 barrel system. At the beginning was tough to sell that many beer, but as you know, if you go bigger, it's easier to make a good beer.
Have you ever roasted malt in the oven at the Tequileria at the Orendain?
Ooh. Tequila's crazy, man. Could you do that legally?
You can do it either in the brick or in the
Or in the roaster, right?
Autoclave? Can you do it on the autoclave?
I don't know. Probably if you put it into
You'd have to do it in the brick because of the low temperature for longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be better if you smoke it with that
Right.
sweet pumpkin side from it.
That would be
And
rad. That'd be
easy.
rad.
Roast. You still have to get the kernels from the barley, and then. But probably it would be very nice to.
That sounds amazing, dude.
Any kernels would be smoked. You could even do the caramel malt and everything, depending on how long you left it in there. So our collaboration is going to be an agave smoked beer out of the brick.
Yeah.
That's it.
You
The
guys.
Lord has spoken.
Yes, sir.
Joaquín, listen, dude, I love you, man. I love your outlook. I love your philosophy, and I think that what you're doing for beer in Mexico is God's work. And so I really appreciate that, especially that you're doing it in Guadalajara, which is so close to my heart. I'm selfish in that way I can't wait to go back and visit you. And I can't wait for this collaboration to happen. It sounds like a lot of fun, but we are wrapping up. So I want the three of us to it could be a shot of beer. It could be a shot of ojitas. I don't really care what it is, but we're going to log off. And thank you so much for joining us, dude. And telling your story, man, because I do think that, I don't know. I think that anybody that has a hesitancy to get into craft beer and thinks that we're saturated or there's no room for innovation or everything that's been done has been done, like your story can highlight the fact that there's a lot of ground to break, man. There's a lot of room, and there's a lot of people around the world that don't know what craft beer is, surprisingly enough. So let's get out of this bubble.
I also think that Joaquin is a great example of why we began to love craft beer. You know what I mean? And I think he kind of can bring in some focus on why we still should love craft beer in the United States. You know what I mean? That passion is worldwide now, and it's spreading around, and we are spoiled beyond belief.
Well, it's you have to be happier because you have shares a lot of passionate people.
All right, let's do this.
Cheers to all
Let's do
that.
a shot. Hey, cheers, caballero.
Cheers,
Caballero.
I'm going straight in.
Here. I need the shot. I need this good shot. Oh, there you go. There you go. Jesus, you're an animal. It's in your blood, though. It's in your family bloodline.
So lovely.
Are you mixing? Oh, there you go. All right, Joaquín, Fortuna, Guadalajara, Mexico, changing the game. Love you guys. Love you guys very much.
Love for the craft. Salud por la experiencia and the good way to make beer.
Cheers to Mexico beers. Mexico craft beers.
Ooh, absolutely. Get after Joaquín real quick. Where can we follow you? Where can anybody listening find Fortuna? Obviously, you don't sell in the United States just yet, and we'll keep you updated if you do. But where can people follow you on social media?
So we're working to get an account in the US, but you still can follow us at Facebook at Cerveza Fortuna or at Instagram Cerveza Fortuna as well. Up there, we're going to share everything we do, and hopefully these collaborations gets there.
Hell yeah, we're gonna make it happen, baby. We're gonna make it happen.
We're here in Guadalajara.
Let's do it. I need an excuse to get back over there anyways. Tortas ahogadas for the win. I love you, man. And we'll see you soon, dude.
Gracias. Salud.
All right, guys. That was amazing. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the rest of our episodes on Ballast Point's YouTube page, channel, whatever. You can follow us on ballastpoint.com, Instagram, Facebook, all that jam. I'll see you next time, and thanks for tuning in.